Hello there! I'm making this video, which isn't really a drawing video, it's just going to be a bit of a tour of my Inktober 2017. And to start off the video, I want to really quickly display the materials I used. If you want to pause to figure out what each thing is, but basically it's just a mechanical pencil and a couple of erasers for sketching, fine liners from China, which I got on eBay real cheap, the brush pen that came with the Chinese Microns, which actually had the blackest ink out of all the things here, which kind of, wow. Pentel pocket brush pen, which I bought this month, and the Pigma Sensei I also bought this month, which I hadn't used before, but I'm not so good with the brush pen. I really love the Pigma Sensei, and then some more fine liners I already had, and a Sakura Jelly Roll, which is my best friend. So to start off, my first entry in Inktober was this kind of thing that I wanted to work on. I wanted to keep things simple with just cross-hatching, regular hatching, solid blacks and lines. Yeah, this was sort of a benchmark. This was the type of illustration that I wanted to be able to do really confidently in ink. And yeah, it's just a drawing of my character Aries from when she was like 14. Second drawing here was, I figured I would just try to start off Inktober day 2 with a little bit of something outside my comfort zone. So I just took a photograph of these Japanese tombstones and I decided to try to copy it. And this is actually my mum's favourite piece that I did in Inktober. I think it's pretty good. And for day 3, I have my first gift, because I do a lot of gifts over Inktober because you just run out of ideas and like, let's just draw something for a friend. This is my friend Saf's character Akira. I really love how I did this feather. I'm not as fond as how I did the other feather, but I also really like the way that I did the ink inside the eyes around here. I think it's very expressive. For day 4, well, I got a cold pretty early on in October and it made me feel pretty rubbish. I was quite miserable for quite a few days and I decided to express my miserableness through a drawing. So I drew, it's supposed to be me with my hair in disarray, just swaddled in blankets and pillows. But yeah, and I really like the way that I did the sort of eyes and details of glasses. Is my favourite part of this illustration in general, and I was starting to feel more comfortable with the inks. For day 5, October 5th is Saf's birthday, so I decided to draw her character Ryusei with my character Talia. I've drawn these two multiple times on my channel. I'll leave the links in the card. But yeah, Saf had written this little storiette kind of thing, so I decided to do that drawing. Yeah, I'm just really happy with how this came out. For day 6, another gift. This is Alexander, he's my friend Kids OC, and when I posted this on Instagram, because I posted these on the day as I went on Instagram, but then I edited them and they're in my sketchbook that I always carry around, so I was always tweaking them, adding some things, changing some things. So I added this step that he sat on between when I posted it and now, because he just felt like he was floating. But I'm really happy with this. I really like the pose, I really like his expression. I think it creates sort of a scene. Yeah, it was interesting to draw. For day 7, I did some fan art of Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon, because earlier on in October I got well obsessed again with How to Train Dragon fanfiction, so I was all in like Norse mythology, dragons, and so I drew Hiccup. And then again, returning to the thing from the second day of trying not to only just draw like portraits and characters and stuff like that, I decided to revisit a concept that I did a couple months ago of just a hand holding some tea. And so I just redid that. I think it came out a lot better than the first time, but I really liked it. Yeah, I was also starting to feel a lot more comfortable with the cross-hatching thing by this point. I really like the way that looked around the knuckles and then a little bit before, I guess that's also knuckle, a bit before the fingernail. Yeah, I like how this is coming. For day 9, I was again revisiting the dragon thing, hatching the dragon, and I was trying to, again, branch out from just doing characters, but this isn't completely original. I heavily referenced an image on Google, because I'm just not that good at drawing animals, but I really like because the image I was referencing was a painted kind of thing, and I just translated it into a lot of hatching and cross-hatching, and I really like the texture that this has. Yeah, I'm quite proud of that. October 10th is Naruto's birthday, like Naruto the character, not the manga or the author or anything like that, but this character is really special to me, so I decided, and I was running out of ideas. It was a third of the way through and I was already running out of ideas, but so I decided to just draw him for happy birthday, and this is still my favourite drawing I've ever done of this character to date. I am beyond happy with it, and I'm so glad that I can like keep it in my sketchbook and hug it whenever I want. For day 11, my friend Saf actually gave me this idea of drawing my character Rowan from the back, playing his bass. I'm happy with this, and I was happy to see Rowan some love. For day 12, I just drew, like I was starting to feel the burnout a little bit, so I decided to keep it simple and draw a bust, and this is huge, so much bigger than I'm used to drawing just a face, because it takes up the entire 9x12 size of my sketchbook, and it was just enormous. I felt really out of my depth drawing this big, but I'm really happy because the hatching came out really delicate because it was so much smaller in comparison to the entire thing. The eyes look really good. I really like the shape that the cross hatching makes underneath the nose. Yeah, I'm really happy with that, and lips too. And the hair, I spent a really long time doing it, and I'm not quite sure if I achieved the effect that I wanted to, but it still looks quite punchy. I'm still quite happy with this. This one, this one's a story. So I did a sketch of a girl with some flowers behind her, and then I tried to do some grayscale tones on her because I felt that because this didn't take up the whole page, I wouldn't be able to pull off delicate cross hatching like I did in this one. So I decided to try to do some grey tones with markers, but then it went really wrong, and this is what came out of that one. I was so happy with the sketch, but I didn't really like the way that I did the tones or anything. Like I was well gutted. So then I drew her again, and then tried to add the tones, but instead of using markers or watercolors or something I'm familiar with, I went ahead and I did it with ink washes, a medium that I've never used before. So like honestly, this looks like it's very much an ink wash piece, and it works in a way, but it really didn't pull off the delicate look I was going for. So it feels like it doesn't match, like the tones don't match with the drawing. And yeah, it's not my best, but it was a good experiment, and I'm still really happy that I was able to pull off the same kind of concept, but give the girls two completely different kind of aesthetics and what they look like. I was pretty happy with that. For day 14, I gave another one of my characters some love. This is Chrome. Drawing the shoe from front on is just really weird because of the foreshortening, and you wouldn't think that something as small as a shoe can be foreshortened, but it still is, and it's weird. But I went with it and rolled with it, and I was really happy with it. By this point, I started incorporating more solid blacks than I'd been before. And so, like, I know that manga artists, what they do is that they just fill in the solid black and then they have a dip pen with white India ink. I don't have that, so what I did was I drew the lines where I meant to be, then I drew a secondary line of where the white bit was going, and then outlined it with a thicker fine liner, and then outlined it again with a thicker fine liner, and then went and filled the bulk of it with the brush pen. And yeah, you can kind of see where I did that. It's not as clean, but when you zoom out you can't tell, and it looks like white lines. Moving on for day, day 15, again doing that same white line technique in her trousers, and I don't know, I just felt a little bit contemplative. I wanted to draw face in profile, and I already drew Aries on the first day, but I just felt like drawing her actual age. She's 20 something. In the first one she was 14. So yeah, it was just a kind of simple thing. I already bought my Pentel pocket brush pen by then. I didn't in the one before, I'm pretty sure. So I filled in the blacks with that and the hair as well. I did it just with the brush pen, and it was just interesting experimenting. I'm quite fond of the way that I did her nose. For a long time in my art development, I struggled with including a nostril, or like the shell of the nostril more than the nostril itself, but I think I found a really good way to do that now. For day 16, it's sort of like the Tiri's bust, but what I had in mind when I was doing this was white eyelashes that are very prominent. So I was in class when I did this, and I drew that, and it's still a pretty simple bust. It wasn't the most challenging day, but I really like the way that these eyes came out, and this nose is completely different shapes from how Tiri's nose is. So yeah, I think this is not the most complicated one, but I consider it a win. For day 17, this is my friend Fantasy Finder's character Griffin. But yeah, Griffin, he ended up coming out a little bit younger than he actually is. He's actually 18, and we kind of, Fan and I decided between us that he looks 15 here, but I'm still quite happy with this. He looks like I wanted him to look, and then the inks came out pretty strongly. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. For day 18, I decided to do some fan art of a new song that had come out the week before by Louis Tomlinson. The song is called Just Like You, and the second line is cigarette in my left hand, whole world in my right hand. So yeah, cigarette in his left hand and whole world in his right hand. And I just thought it was a fun concept to try to draw. I'm really happy with how I made his tank top rest over his chest. You can still see his pectorals poking out. Yeah, I think it came out pretty good. For day 20, I'm pretty sure it's day 19. This is my friend Horioki's character Aida. Aida is paired with my character Zeke, and Horioki recently got a job at a coffee shop which she'd been wanting to get, and Aida also works as a coffee shop, but she decided that Aida worked at a coffee shop way before she actually got the job herself. So yeah, I just had coffee shops on my mind, so I decided to draw a little chibi, and I'm surprised that this is, I think, the only chibi that I drew through all of Inktober. Day 20, this is actually day 20. This is actually a really tiny sketch. It's about 2 of my thumbs, I'd say, worth in size, but I just felt like doing something full body, but something not that detailed, something a little bit more quiet. Here in the corner you can see my eraser. But yeah, this is just a little quiet, kind of contemplative little piece. And this is another kind of contemplative piece. It's a little bit more symbolic. The blacks here are the Pentel pocket brush ink, and then the darker one is the other brush pen. I told you that the weird Chinese, Japanese, eBay brush pen had a lot darker ink, and you can really see it here. And then this streaky grey thing is my marker that's dying. I need to get some refills for my four Pro picks. But yeah, it's also a little bit of a symbolic thing of this girl climbing a tree, and I figured the tree kind of symbolized creativity, and the girl is climbing up her journey into creativity. But once she reaches the top, she realizes, oh, she's been growing wings the whole time. There is no top of her creativity. She can keep growing. But yeah, that was my thought behind that. For day 22, I decided to try to draw my dog with the Pentel pocket brush pen. I'm not good at drawing animals, I'm really not. My dog was sat right there in front of me being a perfect model, and Lord knows that I've pet that beast enough to know how his muscles work, but nope, it still doesn't really come out. But yeah, it was alright, it was fun. I'm still trying to get familiar with the brush pen. For day 23 was that other gift I was talking about. It's my friend Dark Petal 16. She has this Boku no Hero Academia fanfic that she started recently, and this is her protagonist Kiyomi. And yeah, Kiyomi is sort of like a witch character, and I've realised I hadn't really drawn any kind of witches or spooky things for Inktober yet, and Halloween was like a couple days away. This is what, 23? Yeah, it was like a week away. So I decided to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, draw a witch, and make Dark Petal 16 happy. For day 24 is my character Zeke. I was talking to my friend Saf, and we were talking about how Zeke has a complete jungle worth of houseplants, and he really loves to take care of them, but then he would have to water some of them in the morning and in the evening, and so him being all sleepy, just woke up in his pajamas watering his plants, it was a nice mental picture. And then I also had the idea that his indoor watering can is a Welmer pail, and I really like doing the different kinds of plants, and I like how I did little droplets on this one because it's the one that's getting watered. For day 25, I decided to do a little bit of a self-portrait out of inks. I was really running low on ideas here, and I figured, you know, it's been a while since I'd drawn my face. No, I actually hadn't been. I draw my face quite often because it's like really easy to doodle. But yeah, I just decided to try to. I started wearing my hair a little bit different. Usually I just leave it completely down or in a ponytail and let my bangs do what my bangs do. But I've starting to pin my right side up with a bobby pin, and then let my bangs on my left side kind of flow a bit looser. I don't know, I quite like the look of it, and that's what I'm wearing right now actually. So yeah, I decided to incorporate that into the drawing. For day 26, it's another gift for Saf. This time it's her character Sekai, and I don't remember, no, I think I decided to draw Sekai because she has this sort of work in progress ambitious painting of him that she's been working on and off for a while, and I just decided to show this child some love. And he has a little penguin companion named Pinchan, and he has a little star companion that I don't know the name of, but yeah, I'm quite happy with this. I feel quite proud of the form that I can see through the hatching that I did in the shading. For day 27, this is my absolute favourite piece in all of Inktober that I did. It's the same concept from day 13 of the girl with the flat light, and this was an accident. I did that same concept the second time on purpose because the first time didn't turn out right, and even though the second time didn't really turn out right either, I decided to leave it. But lo and behold, a week later I ended up drawing the same concept again accidentally. But it's my character Talia, and she has the flowers, she has a bust, she has the serene expression, and I did with the white jelly roll this galaxy, and I really love how this galaxy came out. In love with how this piece came out. And then this is another piece that I edited quite heavily between when I posted it on my Instagram and when I showing it now when I posted it on my DeviantArt. I added this entire kind of flower feature here that I'm really happy with. It's just I felt like this guy needed a little bit more like push to show that there's wind moving, because I was trying to show that in his Howdy and in his Hakama and stuff like that, but it didn't really show. But when I added these, it was a game changer. I really love how this looked. And then this is my character Onyx. For day 29, this is Ladybug and Chat Noir from the Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Chat Noir. It's because season 2 of that show came out, and I've been trying to keep up with it. Sometimes I forget when episodes come out, sometimes I binge like 3 of them in a row, but I really love this show. Like, this OTP is just goals. It tickles all my fluff feels so much, and I decided to just draw them together because, yeah, to celebrate season 2 basically. Okay, day 30. This was an idea because I had 2 days left and I was so low on ideas. But since Halloween was almost upon us, I tried to remember any fun costumes that I did, and I painted myself as a skull multiple times. So I decided to do a girl, because you can clearly see she's a girl. She has like actual flesh and stuff, but she's made up like a skull. And then I just did this whole really, like, the ribs completely don't work, those bones, like, I know anatomy as far as silhouettes, maybe. I don't know skeletons, but I tried. And then this little, I have no idea what I'm doing kind of spider web thing. But yeah, this was fun. And then for the final piece in Inktober after this really long journey is another self-portrait, but this time it's in profile view. It's looking down, it's happy, it has this kind of abstract kind of background, and it's just me, so very pleased with myself. I let the cat the cop the green. And that's basically what this drawing is. So this was it for my Inktober 2017. I hope you enjoyed watching. I'm not quite sure when I'm going to be uploading another video, but you know, stay tuned for when I do. Leave a comment down below and leave a like if you really enjoyed it. Let me know all the things, and I'll see you some other time.